Will employers soon be able to ask you for your social media password as a last-minute attempt to block such a request was killed out of the Cyber Intelligence Sharing and Protection Act?
Let's bring the judge in. Fox News senior judicial analyst Andrew Napolitano is with us here. And how about it, Judge? Give me your password.
You don't know what you'll find behind it, Connell. This is legislation which is monstrous in scope.
Yep.
It basically provides for the computer servers that we all use and the government to share information, ostensibly to ward off cyber attacks. During the process of the negotiation and amendment and creation of the legislation, a member of Congress proposed an amendment to it which would have barred employers from asking for passwords of employees, and that amendment failed. That doesn't mean if this legislation becomes law that employers will ask you for it. It only means that in states where it is not otherwise prohibited, it is prohibited here in New York, it's prohibited in New Jersey, it's prohibited in California by state law, where it is not otherwise prohibited, that employers will be free to ask for it. But the larger picture here is this bizarre, unique partnership between the government and computer servers, ostensibly to ward off cyber attacks. The government says that by sharing its codes and algorithms with the computer servers, it can help them ward off cyber attacks. Computer servers know that whatever they get from the government, they're going to have to give back in kind. What will they give back in kind? Their codes, their algorithms, and our emails and our email addresses, and what you devoutly wish to have are passwords. Do we really want the government to have all of that? Or are there other ways to ward off cyber attack without giving this information to the government? And does the Constitution, the Fourth Amendment, permit the government to get this private information about us? Is there no longer a right to privacy because there's still a Fourth Amendment? How's that for a mouthful?
That's no, but there's a lot to digest, and you mentioned that there are state efforts to block companies from monitoring people's personal Facebook and Twitter accounts.
Right.
But now you have some Wall Street firms that are looking for exemptions to those laws because they say, well, we need to monitor our employees' activities because it relates to stock manipulation. What are they telling us?
Yes. Wall Street's concern is a legitimate one. Because if the person is high-ranking enough in a Wall Street company and they are involved in stock manipulation or insider trading, that could impose liability on the Wall Street firm as well as liability on the individual.
So because it's a private business, a completely different situation.
Yes.
What it is.
Yes. If a News Corp can ask us for information that the federal government can't, that the state of New York can't.
Right.
Because the Constitution restrains the federal government and it restrains the state of New York. It does not restrain News Corp in the same respect.
You want to talk about cameras in the street, access to our online accounts. Have we lost all expectation of privacy in this country, except if we're at home in a closet with the shades pulled down?
Well, you know, when people are afraid, and we all were afraid a week ago now, when those monsters were running around Boston and nobody knew who had caused that massacre, people tend towards safety rather than liberty. And there is this myth that most people accept. By sacrificing privacy, we will somehow be safer. How do we know it's a myth? Just look at what happened in Boston. All those cameras and all that street, all those streets, all the microphones and all the cameras, and it didn't stop these crazies from doing what they did. It helped the police find them, but it didn't stop the carnage. But I think it is human nature, when afraid, to prefer safety over freedom. It's an unfortunate answer to your question. Yes, privacy is diminishing, which is why Geraldo referred to me yesterday as a minority of one by defending all these privacy rights.
Right.
He means two, because he's on this side.
Geraldo.
And with you guys, it would be four.
Love
Yes,
Geraldo.
thank you.
And you. All right.